Let's get it ready. So it's
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay. Yes, messaged me and was like, can you give me the share link for the show so you can share it out? I'm like, yeah, give me a minute.
You're just moments away from a brand new episode of WTF Nations Radio's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by the dynamic duo CQ and Radar. Pop Culture Warrior is your #1 source for all things entertainment. If it's happening in TV, movies, video games, or comedy, they're all over it. And don't forget to say hi in the comments below. And while you're at it, let the boys know what you think and what you'd like to hear them talk about. Now strap in and get comfortable, because you're in for one hell of a ride.
Yep. Oh no, you're fine.
This is Pop Culture Warrior. Shots.
I'm on.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I'm ready when you are, buddy.
Hang there by your Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome. I know for a fact you could all hear us talking while we were in. You gotta love technical difficulties, man. Those damn rats are in the wires again. As you can see, I am CQ. This is Radar. Welcome one and all. Today is September 22nd, 2020. This is episode 31 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ. We know that. And with me is, as always, the pen to my paper, our very own house commentator, the voice of the unpop cultured, this guy, Mr. Radar. Wave to the people, buddy.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Oh, goodness. Don't you just love when we have technical difficulties? Isn't that just the best?
If we didn't have technical difficulties, will we even have a show? Like, honestly, at this point.
At this point, it's part of the package, man. It's part of the gig. I mean, that's what we do here. We have some fun. That's okay. I you know, when you're using space age cutting technology stuff, you know, sometimes things happen. You know.
You know what? Sometimes if they don't happen, life is boring, man.
Yeah.
We wouldn't learn anything. We wouldn't feel the same.
Yeah.
If life just worked.
Exactly. So that's okay. You know, we will drive on. We will continue on. The show must go on. So I'm gonna put I got my little box here that's all my little buttons and knobs and whatnots. But hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. I see that we got a few people watching and hoping that the signal's strong and hoping that you guys can hear us. Everybody, can we get a thumbs up from the audience? Can you guys hear us? Is everything working as should be?
Pretty sure about it.
Kaz says any more tech issues, and we're gonna start calling you guys Friday Night Freedom. Oh, self-burn. Well done.
Ooh.
Well done. I like it. I feel like I'm shiny. Am I shiny? Anyway. Alrighty.
Good, buddy. You look like a movie star.
I love this new look, by the way. I really do. I'm digging you in the bubble.
You did amazing. Don't even nope. Okay, so backstory on this to everybody, because there's been a couple of suggestions like, "Oh, the bubble's awesome." The bubble is awesome, and that is all CQ and his abilities with what we work with here. And I need to figure out. I don't know. You wear the earbuds. I can't do those, man.
Yeah.
My ears are all effed up, and I can't do that.
You're fine. I think you're perfectly fine. We're in the like sound isolation. Like, DJ Radar in the house.
Right. I got the big ass like old school mic in front of me. I want to get like the old like NBC mics. Just be like giant from my face.
DJ Radar in the house. So for the audience, I had this idea of like Radar being in kind of like one of those radar, round things, and I was gonna do like this thing where it's like a boo boo, like a radar over him, and I was like, you know what? That's too much damn work. So we put you in a bubble. I think you look great. I really do at some point want to have a sign that's like it points to the and just like I like dicks. just a little speech bubble that I can hold over your circle. But yeah, it's fun. And I'm gonna tell you, this is purely scientific research. Now we're playing fast and loose here on the show. So let me do this.
Fast loose as you can. Obviously we're like 20 minutes late getting started.
Okay, and just for that, okay. See, there goes Radar. He went bye-bye. Hey, Radar, do me a favor. Talk, because I want to see if the audience at home can hear you. That's right. We're testing things live. All right, I'm going to bring our friend Radar back. Hello. Welcome back to the show.
I can't because I can't see shit, right? Because we have a delay a little bit. Oh, I'm gone.
You see, you're delayed. I made you go away, and then I brought you back. It's okay. I'll watch the tape. I'll watch the tape and see if the audience could hear you. But that's all right. We're good. I love it, man. This is looking good. You have something to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I don't care if they hear me or not. I'm just keep talking. So
when has that ever stopped us, right? When people listening or not?
There's people in my life that never listen to me, but I keep talking.
All right.
So
new fancy gizmos and whatnots puts aside. You're good on muting. Hey, we're good on muting. All right, let's get into some. We got a lot to go over today. I mean, we got a lot to go over. Let me just real quick mention that the second hour we have a phenomenal guest, Gerry Kissell, who is a phenomenally talented veteran artist, blogger, pop culture guru, art, like graphic novelist. Like he's into everything. Bring our friend Radar back.
Whoa. Sorry about it.
Radar pushing buttons. Busted.
Radar's pushing. Well, okay, so
go ahead.
Everyone knows I got a crazy work schedule, right? We talked about this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I have to be out of here at like 5:30, right? I have to be home. And everyone's like, why? Why do you need to be out of here? I'm like, I have to be on the internet. Like
the internet needs me.
Yeah, I'm like, I have things to do. I have life. I have real life things on the internet. They're like, you're not part of the internet. I'm like, I am really.
Oh.
And so everyone I work with has been text like for like my phone. I have to put it on like my extra mouse pad because it's like it's going crazy. And everyone's like, where can we find you? So I clicked on the thing. I was gonna send them the link to the show, and that's when it opened it up.
Yeah,
and
it opens
you're
it
talking
because
that's what we do.
Yeah. You could mute yourself before opening it up.
Well, I didn't think about that until you just said it.
We run a professional show, God damn it! I will not tolerate this.
You made this awesome bubble. Bubble radar, and I'm like, I can't mute myself before I make that.
We are never going to be taken serious in the industry if we're going to handle our business this way. I will not tolerate this. That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving.
That's it. If you put a camera where I handle my business, we're gonna have issues. Put that on my OnlyFans channel. What's up?
Yeah, there it is. Radar does OnlyFans. I knew it. All right. So second hour, Gerry Kissell is phenomenally talented military veteran, Army veteran who's also does everything, anything pop culture. I mean, the art, the novelizations, the story writing, the filming, the critic reviews, and has his own great YouTube channel. So we're going to have him on the show, and we're going to talk all things pop culture and geeky stuff. We're going to geek out so hard together. It's going to be awesome. So stick around for that. And let's get into some of the week's news, man. What say you? You ready?
See, you fucking, hey, Radar, I want you to make your shit. You fucking handle this bullshit.
Caught him muted.
Hey, Radar muted his shit. Let's talk to him.
All right, let's talk. We're going to cover some gaming news.
All right, then.
And, hey, there's, look at that. Your bubble got a little smaller. You're a smaller bubble now. And you lost your name, but that's okay. And, guys, remember, for the month of October, I'm going to run a competition. We're going to name this dude. I will give a prize package to whoever's name I just love the most, and I mean that will be his name, and you will win a prize package. We're gonna do that the month of October. We'll figure out official rules for entering or something. I don't know, but anyway, gaming news, Mr. Radar. Since last week, there has been a flurry of gaming craziness. Okay, so much to cover. We don't have enough time to cover it all, but I'm gonna do some highlights.
You don't live where there's lots of snow, do you?
Do not. Not
because
currently.
A flurry is like a little bit of snow.
It's been a cavalcade, an avalanche of craziness coming out of the gaming industry. So first, last Wednesday, the day after our show aired, PlayStation had its PS5 showcase. They showed a bunch of games, blah blah blah. Who cares? They already knew. What they announced, which is what people wanted to know, was what's the price of the system? When can we pre-order it? When is it coming out? And they answered those questions. $400 for the digital only, $500 for the main console, and the part that they kind of jacked up is they went and pre-order tomorrow, and we're just kind of vague about somewhere, somehow, you'll be able to pre-order it. Sent the internet into a tizzy. Obviously, retailers were all scrambling to like get it up on their sites. It sold out immediately everywhere. No, people were pissed because you couldn't get your hands on it because you didn't know where to go, when to go, and by the time you figured it out, they were all sold out. So that was not handled well on PlayStation's part. In fact, they went on Twitter to address it and literally said, this is from the PlayStation account, let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have gone a lot smoother. We truly apologize for that. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details and more PS5s will be available through the end of the year. Now, that was last Wednesday, and the tweet came out this Saturday. Since then, we still don't have any more updated information on when PlayStations will be available for more pre-orders or who's going to have them or how to get them. Moving on from that debacle, we knew today pre-orders for the Xbox were going to go live. And Xbox, seeing the debacle that PlayStation had, they said, we're going to do this smart. We're going to tell our fans, hey, September 22, you know that it's coming. 11 a.m. Eastern is when you'll be able to pre-order. That goes worldwide. That moment, that's when you can pre-order. Seemed like we were set up for a better experience. It went completely off the rails, as it's to be. Because what happened was, if you weren't there at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern on the dot, with your finger on the button, you probably didn't get one. Because within minutes, they were sold out everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And I'll be honest, set alarm after alarm after alarm to make sure I was ready. And you're damn right I got me an Xbox One. I pre-ordered it, got my confirmation, and didn't have a problem. But when I went 3 minutes later to refresh the page so I can get one for, a family member, site had crashed. Went to the next site had crashed. Went to the next site had crashed. We're talking Amazon, Best Buy, Target, Walmart. Anywhere you could order one completely was overwhelmed and was just not ready for the volume that they saw. And it just crashed everywhere. So I'm curious, guys out there, if you're in the chats, let me know. Were you able to get one of our pre-orders? Were you able to get any of those? Just curious. Anybody out there? Anybody? Nobody?
Not me.
Did you get an Xbox or a PS anything?
No.
No.
Okay. We've talked about this. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Radar.
You were gonna hold off on it.
I live Mountain Time. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Good. What are we doing here?
You're good.
All right. Anyway, I live Mountain Time, right? I'm not getting up with a butt crack of dawn to pre-order dick. Sorry about it. That ain't happening. Secondly, don't care. Like, I care. I want one, but not bad enough.
I've
like,
told
I'm not gonna
you
fucking
time
arm wrestle
and time
one,
again. You're not gonna be on this show if you don't care about.
I care. I care enough to want one, but not enough to like buy one. Does that make sense?
I know this is new for
you.
you.
If you were like, Radar, dude, I got you this thing. You need to play it. And I'd be like, all right, tight. I'll play it. Tits, balling.
Listen.
But I'm not gonna be like, I need to be up at like 0:30 so I can pre-order this fucking thing. I ain't pre-ordering shit. I'll go to Walmart and buy one when they come out.
Yeah, they'll by Amazon, Christmas they'll be stacked in the stores. I ain't pre-ordering
nothing. Sorry about it.
I just want to remind you that you're on camera now, so when you roll your eyes at me, everyone can see it.
Good. Hopefully I rolled it hard enough. Fucking yeah. I had a Biden moment. Yeah.
You roll your eyes any harder, you're gonna stroke out there, buddy.
Yeah, I probably did. You look at I'm having my little radar ran. You do motherfucker. It's dumb.
Somebody's gonna capture that and meme the shit out of it.
Good.
Yeah. So you guys are lighting up the chats. A lot of people didn't order it. I see that. PlayStation.
Apparently, according to fucking old CQ here, you couldn't do it anyway. So
yeah,
I'm glad. Oh, you know how fucking pissed off I would have been if I'd have got my fat ass up early and be like, yeah, motherfucking.
It's 11 a.m. Eastern. It's not that much earlier.
Well, 2 hours, son. What time was it? You said 11 Eastern, right?
Yeah, so you would at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Is that too early? That's too early for you.
I guess in all fairness, I've been at work for like 4 hours. But we won't talk about that.
Anyway, so moving on. So that was interesting side bit. Interesting side bit here. All right, you ready for this? And this is something I just read a little earlier, literally right before we went on live. And so, if you went on Amazon and you were typing in Xbox One Series X, it was coming up as the Xbox One X, the current system. So, surprise, surprise, Xbox One X, the current system, saw a spike of 747% sales today on Amazon. Which I can only assume are people that didn't realize that, like, wow, it's sold out everywhere, but Amazon has it right here at the top waiting for me. Yeah, you guys might want to check your orders. You were ordering Xbox One X, not Xbox Series X, which is the new next-gen system. Which, again, naming convention, PlayStation might be the smart one, just 4, 5, 6, Pro, whatever. Because the whole Xbox One X Series X divided by 2 is starting to confuse people. All right.
Let's be honest. That was kind of a cock up on their end.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Let's be honest.
Big time. Oh, big time. Yeah. PlayStation screwed up because they didn't give any forethought to anybody, and Microsoft screwed up because, like, they basically bum rushed every server for every major chain all at once at one specific time. Like, what do you think was going to happen? These guys aren't meant to have millions of hit on one page at a time. You know,
no,
it is what it is. But that's not Microsoft's problem. Microsoft's like, ain't no problem. It was there. You just didn't get it.
Eat a dick.
Eat a dick. Whatever. Sorry about it.
Sorry about it. And they're not sorry one bit. They just sold a shit ton of Xbox.
I swear to God, I'm going to make a sorry about it button that I'm going to have right here on my desk. And every time I just feel like it, I'm just going to hit that button. Sorry about it.
Sorry about it.
That's going to be it. Floridian says, some parent that thinks they score, the parent that thinks they scored the ultimate gift for their kid or spouse. And when it comes to opening the presents, the parent, somebody's going to be pissed when they get that Xbox One X that they already have in the other room. Yeah, somebody's going to be pissed for sure.
I didn't think about all that. Yeah, it's gonna be some fucking grandma or some shit.
Yeah,
she's gonna be all happy. She got some shit. Oh yeah, she's gonna be so sad.
Heart's in the right place. That's it's about the thought. The thought that counts. The thought.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Never. All right. Other news. Gaming news. So this actually happened yesterday, the day before the pre-orders, and obviously I think it was a very tactical move on Xbox part. They bought Bethesda. Well, to be clear, they have laid out the plan to acquire Bethesda Studios. Obviously, it has to go through a bunch of checks and balances and approvals and things like that. But they basically have said, we would like to buy you for this much. And Bethesda was like, yeah, cool. We like that. And so the dance has begun. But pretty much Xbox has bought Bethesda. In this article, it says, in a shocking turn of events, Xbox yesterday announced that it entered an agreement to acquire ZeniMax Media, which is the parent company of Bethesda Software. This monumental move brings video game franchises like Doom, Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and a lot more into the fold for, being Xbox exclusive. I even got a little picture for you here. Let's get a little picture. Boom. So this is what Xbox and Bethesda brings you, man. Dishonored, Wolfenstein, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Starfield, Prey, The Evil Within. All those franchises will now be owned exclusively by Xbox. The story further goes into say that the exact amount of IP, which is the individual property, Xbox has just acquired is somewhat staggering to even think about and should certainly help better position the company in terms of first-party titles in the future. They went on everybody, went on to patting their backs about how awesome this was and great stuff. And according to the press release announcing the acquisition, Microsoft is acquiring ZeniMax for $7.5 billion in cash. Who The deal is subject to all the usual legal hurdles beyond such an acquisition. Microsoft expects to close it in the second half of 2021 fiscal year. This marks just the largest high-profile acquisition from Xbox, with previous companies like Double Fine Productions, Obsidian Entertainment being acquired in the recent year. Also, let's remember, not too long ago, a couple years ago, they bought Minecraft, and that's that one game. They bought the studio, which made that one game. They paid them $2.5 billion for that one game. So this is a steal when you really think about it. You know what I mean? They got Minecraft alone for $2.5 billion. They just got the entire Bethesda library for $7.5 billion. What a bargain. What a bargain. But yeah, this is a monumental move for a lot of reasons. Other than oh, these will be on Xbox. Let's remember that something else Xbox has been pushing lately is their Game Pass. Now the Game Pass, you pay like $10 a month and you have access to all these games. It's like a Netflix for games for $10 a month, all digital. But the promise has always been like our Microsoft owned products will always be in that Game Pass. Other game studios, so like if they had like Grand Theft Auto was in there for a while, will rotate in and out. So you're not always going to have access to those games, only when it's in the Game Pass. But the Xbox owned properties will always be in there. So being that they just bought Bethesda, that means all these games, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Fallout, those will all be part of Game Pass before long, within the next year. And that's huge. That's huge. You tell me $10 a month gets me access to all those games, plus of all the other Xbox owned games, plus random other games. Plus they just announced that EA Play, so that's all of EA's games, you know, all the sports games, the was it Need for Speed, all those games will also be included. Like, that's a steal for $10 a month. That is an absolute steal. I don't care. Sorry about it. I don't care who you are. That's a steal among steals.
Sorry about it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. Somebody just told me that if depending on how you're watching the show, the live icon is in the top left, covering Radar's face. See,
Radar live.
These are things. This is why we test things. This is why we test things. So I might have to like lower your bubble a little bit. It just depends, because I'm seeing it in one of my screens and it's just above your head. So I think it depends on what, if you're watching like on a cell phone or smartphone or tablet or PC or whatever. But yeah, we might have to move your big head. Just live written across your forehead.
Whatever. I'm gonna get a tattoo there now. Whatever.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway. Ooh. So yeah. So what do you think, man? What do you think about the acquisition of Bethesda? I mean, you know these games, right? You know Wolfenstein. You know.
Yeah, I know these.
Fallout. You know Doom.
But I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that the console exclusive stuff is kind of dumb on their end. I really do. I mean, I get it. I get it. You want to have some console exclusive. So that's basically any more the only difference between a PlayStation and Xbox is your console exclusive.
Right. Stuff. Graphically,
and your consumer base. You've got people who like. I will probably not buy a PlayStation. It might be the best fucking thing in the world. I'm probably only going to buy an Xbox. Right. That's me. So and you've got people like me who are brand loyal, I guess, if you want to say. But for the most part, I think the games and for the gamers, cross-platform stuff is the way to go. I really believe that. And the bigger games, I think it's going to get to a point where you're going to have games like Call of Duty and all of these other big titles are going to go almost exclusively go right to cross-platform, because it enhances their player base. If you are
Sure.
Electronic Arts or whomever, you want to reach as many people as possible, and you don't want anything in the way of that, right? You don't want little Timmy and his cousin Jimmy to have different platforms so they can't play together, so they're not going to play your game, they're going to play Fortnite or whatever that they can play together. So having these console exclusives, yeah, it's great. Something like Doom, and honestly, Doom's probably going to reach a lot more fan base of people our age. Let's be honest. I mean, it's going to be hard to get Fortnite kids into Doom. It's just a whole different gameplay. It's a whole different style of game. And so that kind of retro stuff, I think it appeals to a certain audience,
right? But it doesn't appeal to everybody.
So does it, at the end of the day, are they going to make money? Absolutely. If they didn't see potential and profit in it, they wouldn't do it. This is business. Mm-hmm. But how important is that going to be in the next 5 years? That I think we kind of talked about this before too. Like, we're at a turning point in a lot of these things. And this next gen console is going to kind of exacerbate that a little bit. Like, how is gaming going to go? How is it going to evolve from here? It's gone quite a ways from 10 years ago to now. The next 10 years, how much can it grow and evolve? And I think it's kind of a point too, like there becomes a point where you can no longer upgrade even the hardware and software. You cannot make it more than real life, for example. You know what I mean? There comes a point, and I don't think we've reached that point yet, but there gets a point where you can't really make it any better.
Right.
And so then how do you continue innovating things? And I think there's a lot of different ways this can go, because I look at 10 years ago when we were playing PlayStation 2s and Xbox 360s, how much we've progressed to now.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I mean, you bring up a lot of good points. Absolutely.
So, I kind of went off on a little tangent there a little bit, but when you get into the nuts and bolts of these things, how much are we really going to gain? What are we going to get out of this? And does it really benefit? It benefits Xbox, obviously, to not have PlayStation guys playing Doom to an extent.
Right. I mean, the idea bringing that if we're the exclusive and you're dying to play that game, you're going to have to buy our system to play with us. That's right. The idea.
What is that going to be like when Halo was a thing? When Halo was a deal, right? Mm-hmm. You bought Xbox to play Halo, right? But there wasn't really Call of Duty. There really wasn't all these other different. Sure. Halo was the game, at least for me and the buddies I played with.
Yeah. For the longest time, the only reason I even had a PlayStation was because I wanted to play like Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, games like that. The Uncharted series. The only reason I would ever even consider getting an PlayStation right now is because of the Spider-Man game, and how amazing it is. But it's like, is that enough to bring me to a whole new console? That's what we talk about. Is the exclusive worth bringing to a whole new console just for that one exclusive? And you're right. I don't think it is.
Well,
no matter how much I love Spider-Man,
especially with a $500 price tag on it.
Yeah,
you're paying $500 for the console, and then you're paying so much more for the game.
Yep.
At what point are you like, well,
how much is it worth? Yeah, how much? What's the ROI, right? What's the return on investment I'm getting for putting in, and like how much joy am I going to get out of that single game, making it worth it? This kind of investment. But yeah, right. Great point. Chris, I see in the chats. He's like, I mean, PC has always been cross-platform. Just saying. Sorry about it. Just saying. Yes, technically true. Floridian says cross-platform is only possible because of Azure and AWS. Yep. Yeah, that's becoming a bigger thing. The cloud is becoming a bigger thing. Exclusives have always been the de facto of the console wars. Yeah, it's true. Floridian coming in with the Oculus Quest 2 is going to have some amazing games. I think as soon as Microsoft gets their VR in place, the games they bought will be in VR and have a brand new experience. Yeah, we do. I mean, didn't we talk last week that Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed were both going VR and we're both going to the Oculus platform? So I definitely agree with you there, Floridian. That's yeah, it's gonna be a thing for sure.
Maybe.
All asterisk on the whole conversation. Maybe.
Well, but go back to that. We talked about their VR, right?
Yeah.
And how it's not really like that much of a. It's a stepping stone in the right direction, but it's not like you're just instantly in this magic fucking VR world now, right?
Right.
So that I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like,
yeah. We're all waiting with bated breath.
I just want fucking enough of this pre-order bullshit. Just give me the fucking deal. Give me my fucking Xbox Series X. I want to fucking play that bitch. I don't even want to fucking talk about it anymore. I just want to play it.
All right. You heard it here, folks. We're done. We are officially done talking about the Xbox Series X until Radar can play it. Let's move on to Jesus, time is flying by quick tonight. Let's talk some TV stuff.
Some titty stuff.
TV stuff. Get your mind out of the goddamn gutter.
No, sir. You get your own mind out your own gutter.
I'll leave it in the gutter where I damn well like it. All right, so first up. We're finally, things are happening. Things are finally happening. Things are, I can't stress this enough. Things are happening. So we're seeing, obviously, Disney Plus had all this stuff in production when the Ronas broke out and they had to shut a lot of things down. So they are finally back to work, finishing literally what was like the last 2 to 3 weeks of shooting for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Go check out our podcast. All right, cool. Hey, how's it going? So Marvel Studios Falcon and Winter Soldier. Unfortunately, good news, bad news, right? So I'm gonna soften the blow. Ready for this? All right.
Yes.
Good news. Look how pretty this looks. Look. This is Bucky on some high-tech super bike, and look at that badass Wakandan new arm he has.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome is that? That's gorgeous right here. I'm so excited, and I think that looks so much better than like the pre-viz stuff for back when they were doing like that. That's pre-viz. So imagine how good it's gonna look when it's actually got the CGI and stuff to really accentuate it. I think it's gonna look amazing.
That's gonna look tits, dude. It is gonna look good. Pretty sure about it.
Now that I've softened the blow a bit, we're not getting that series anytime soon. That's originally this was supposed to be the first series after like Mandalorian. This was going to be the first big series for Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to, like, if you remember correctly, Black Widow was supposed to drop in theaters. That was in May. And then this was already supposed to be on our screens already. It was supposed to be like September, October that they dropped Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then they were going to do WandaVision at the end of the year. They've pretty much said, yeah, you're not going to see this show until 2021, right? Because they have to finish the last 2 weeks of shooting and then do all the, visuals and CGI. So we're not going to see this for a little while. That's the sad news. That's the sad news. However, I do have some good news. Take that off the screen. Hang on. I do have some good news. And the good news being that while we have lost, out on Bucky and the Winter Soldier and Falcon for this year, they have announced that WandaVision will be coming out this year. December of this year, we actually will get. So we still haven't gotten Black Widow. We're still not getting Falcon and Winter Soldier, but we actually will get WandaVision, the series, starting this December and running however many, I think it's like 6 episodes or whatnot. And to really accentuate that good news, I have for you, my lovely audience, the brand new trailer for WandaVision that just came out. So buckle up, folks. This is going to be a good one.
Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time.
Wanda and Vision, aren't we a 5-pair?
This is our home now. I want us to fit in. Oh! Oh, this is gonna be a gas.
Where did you two move from? How long have you been married? And why don't you have children yet?
Our story.
I think what my wife means to say is that we moved from...
Moved from where? Married when? Damn it, why?
Oh, Arthur, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Deep in the dark, your kiss will dim.
Is this really happening?
Like days of old, lighting the spark of love that fills me. With the rings of love.
Am I dead?
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Each day I pray for evening just to be.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Oh, goodness. Wow. That looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Thoughts, my friend?
Well, when it first started, I thought we were watching the Blue Man Group on TV. But
it does have a certain look about it. I love everything they're doing about this. The whole genre jumping, the going from like your I Love Lucy to you know your Brady Bunch look to your Roseanne look to your like they're changing the sitcom. They're playing the sitcom angle. Obviously, it's all reality bending and manipulation. It's so excited for this show. I mean, it's funny to me that this is what we get first, because January of this year, if you had asked me what you're looking most forward to in this year, I'd have said, well, there's not a lot of Marvel movies coming out this year, but really WandaVision is that show that has been on my radar for a while just because of everybody's been talking about it and what's going on in the background, how it's going to connect. You know, Falcon and Winter Soldier are gonna connect to the MCU proper in certain ways. Black Widow kind of ties up a couple things in certain ways. WandaVision, I really feel, is going to be that pivotal show that really lays the foundation for where the MCU is going, right? Because there's a blink and you miss it scene where you see this woman being flung, you know, as if by magic, through the air, and she lands, and you see it's a black woman, she's laying down. That is Monica Rambeau. So if you saw Captain Marvel, that was the little girl that becomes friends with Captain Marvel. That's her as an adult. So that ties into the Captain Marvel universe, you know. And then you're gonna have Kate Dennings, who plays was it Darcy Lewis? You know, that ties into the Thor universe. Like, this is really gonna have a lot of pieces. What's his name? That was the cop in the Asian dude that was the cop in Ant-Man. He's gonna be in this. So Agent Cho, I think it was. So like you have all this pieces that connect, and we already know that Wanda, you know, is going to be in Doctor Strange 2. She's gonna be a pivotal role in, they call it the multiverse of madness. Like, that's going to play a role in it. So all this ties into the larger picture of the MCU moving forward. I'm kind of nervous because if they had shot this the way they had planned, right? Black Widow would have gave us a little bit of something. Captain, was it, or Falcon and Winter Soldier would have given us a little bit more, and then Vision and WandaVision was going to give us like the big, like, boom, this is where we're going in the future. So now it's kind of reshuffled a bit. I'm wondering how, like, do they just lay it all out there and say, like, look, it's not the order we intended, but it's all here, or are they going to reshoot some stuff? Or are they going to edit the narrative? But yeah, it's gonna. I'm excited. I'm not gonna front. I'm super excited for that show. I think that show's gonna be so cool. I really think it's gonna be cool. What say you?
I think it'd be all right. I think it'd be all right, dude. You get way more excited about this shit than I do, because here's the deal. They got to prove that shit to me, son. They got to prove it to me. You know, I'm looking forward to the fucking next season Mandalorian. I love the first season Mandalorian.
Right. So you say they proved it, so that's why you're excited about it.
I'm excited about it, but here's the deal. If I watch the first 3 episodes and they fucking suck balls, guess what? I will dump that shit.
Jump off the bandwagon just as fast.
just because, hey, you won me over, and it would have been the same thing. Hey, everyone knows I love Tiger King, right? Carol fucking Baskin, all that bullshit, right? But you know what? If 3 episodes in, that was some bullshit, I'd say this is some bullshit. Yeah. And I wouldn't watch the rest of it. Hey, you don't owe me, and I don't owe you nothing. Make quality programming, I will watch it.
All right. We got a comment from King Smith in the chat that says, Radar's rants are awesome. You just know when they're coming.
Well, sorry about it. Sorry about it. You know what Radar rants are coming, but here's the deal. Here, like I said, these people, I hate it. Okay, we talked at length last week about Walking Dead, right? About how they kind of got stale, did all their shit, whatever. They expected us. They're like, well, you have to keep doing it. No, you have to win me every fucking show you put out.
Right.
Every episode, every season, all of that.
As it should be. But here, okay, but caveat that there's going to be a dip in the quality. I mean, it happens. There's
a dip is one thing.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. Everyone has an off day, an off show, an off season, even, right?
Yeah.
When your programming turns to shit, or you come out with shit programming, I don't care who your talent is, who your actors and actresses are. I don't care who your writer is, who your director is, who your fucking screenwriter is, any of it. You put out shit onto my screen, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, I'm watching Lovecraft Country. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal show. Episodes 1, 2 blew me away. Episode 3, I was like, if this is the direction we're going, like, I'm not going to want to watch this. Like, 1 and 2 were so good, and then 3 kind of just, for me, was just like, And then 4, like, okay, we were back on the upswing. We were getting better. And then by 5 and 6, it was like, holy shit, we're back. And like, whoa, buckle up. So, you know, like, I'm not the type that we're like, oh, if I was quick to judgment, I would go, episode 3 was garbage. That's where we're going. I'm gonna stop watching. But I get what you're saying, that like, okay, let's track the trend. If it's going down, then, you know, you get off ship. But if it's just a dip,
you know, and I'll give it a little bit of time too, dude. Like, okay, so we'll go back to Mandalorian, right? Mandalorian came out of the gate fucking swinging. Good series, good show, good cast, good storyline, all of the things, right? Mm-hmm. Looking at the things in the off season, they're showing a lot of promise, right? Making me look forward to it even more. Okay, as we're doing this, right? First one comes out, maybe a little bit on the low side. Okay, next couple 3 come out, a little low, kind of shitty. I'll stop. Okay, now somebody else I know. This is the way this works. Always, I have friends of mine who still watch Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tilt's over. Sorry about it. Anyway, if they're like, man, it got really good, you have got to see this. Okay. Well, take you, for example. You're probably going to watch Mandalorian straight through, right? Sure. If by episode 4, I'm gone, you're like, dude, it was fucking awesome. You have to watch it. I may give it another shot. I may. I'm not gonna write it off forever. Like, fucking Mandalorian.
You like that? I don't like the fact that you may. I'm the pop culture warrior. If I tell you to watch something, you watch it.
No, I'm the unpop culture. That's literally my job. Is to say, sorry about it. I ain't watching it.
I will
you'd be like, what, you should watch it because of this, and I should be like, I should not watch it because it fucking sucks balls. Like, so you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. That's the position you're in, right? Yeah. I'm just here to remind you that sometimes, no matter how much potential something has, it's fucking bullshit. I'm also here to remind you that it's damn near lunchtime. Damn near coffee time. It's 18:56 my time. Hey.
Say lunchtime? What the hell? What time zone are you in?
You don't get a physique like mine by passing on snacks and lunches.
Yes. So what we're going to do, guys, is we are going to go to a quick break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. When we come back, we will have with us Gerry Kissell, who is a phenomenally talented artist, illustrator, graphic novelist, writer, journalist, yada, yada, yada. Like, just the list goes on and on. So we're going to get into all of that. And, yeah, hopefully I'm going to figure out how to mute us so you don't all hear us while we're on break. So stand by for some hilarity and hijinks. We'll see you guys after the break. Chats.
You're listening to the sound
Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Pop Culture Warrior, the second hour of Pop Culture Warrior, man. I'm pushing all sorts of buttons to make this thing happen tonight. And the damn rats are in the wires and I'm fighting them off, but that's okay. And guys, I have a really cool guest ready for you, and he's I should probably not have that playing in the background. That'd probably be a good thing. He is goofing off in the green room. I can see him. You can't. That's okay. I'm cracking up over here because of him. So I'm going to jump right to it. My guest tonight is Gerry Kissell. So you keep holding that face, buddy. Keep holding that face. I'm going to pull you in now. Here we go. Guys, welcome Gerry Kissell, who apparently is frozen. And you can't tell. But what's going on, buddy, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, yeah, I do the freeze face. It messes with people when I do it.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's fun. It's
a few of them will catch it because like they'll catch the fan moving or the TV in the background going, wait, you're not really frozen.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun for me. Thank you so much for that. I don't have enough. I don't have enough problems in my life. There we go. Get your camera. I'm gonna fix the camera.
Baby Yoda
here.
Approved.
Yes, there we go. All right, cool. And boom, fixed your camera. Awesome. We're gold. So, man, I like. The intro for you, I struggled to write because, my God, man, is there anything you haven't done? So here, give me a second.
I have not been successful.
All right, okay, cross off successful. Hang on a second. All right,
not a complete failure, but I've not been completely successful.
All right,
so there you
go. For you guys. All right, so tonight we're joined by filmmaker, graphic artist, writer, vlogger, illustrator, cover artist for Warrior Publishing, more writer, film, TV reviewer, Army veteran. The guy has over 25 years drawing professionally. Gerry, not pronounced Jerry as it might seem, Kissell. Welcome to Pop Culture Warrior. And my God, how did I forget? YouTube sensation from Pop Culture Minefield. You guys look.
It's growing.
It's phenomenal. I saw last time I checked, it was like 1,000 something subscribers. Like
we're over 1,000. Yeah, it's like thanks to Midnight's Edge, Tom, Andre, and Rob at Midnight's Edge, which is a top-notch YouTube channel. They really get a kick out of Keith and me, and I've been a guest on their shows. World Class Bullshitters, which is another major. It's part of the High Council, which I'm now officially a part of, as is my partner Keith. And
that sounds oddly racial, like you're a member of the High Council.
It's not. It's we're all different races. Like World Class Bullshitters is a black dude, just awesome, funny dude. Jeff Hicks, hilarious, man. I love that guy. And of course, my partner, is black.
Of course.
At least I found out he was just recently.
Like I've never seen him in person, but he seems black. He seems black to me could be the
so
settings.
Funny. It's like we have so much in common, and which is why this show got started, that we started doing, because we would talk to each other at the conventions. He worked at one of the conventions I was a guest at, and I joke when I talk about it. I say, I met Keith, and I realized that I didn't have a black friend, so I needed one.
Smart,
but the fact is he's as big a geek and nerd as I am, if not more so.
Right.
He's a walking encyclopedia of information and Hollywood business. And so our show is a mixture of me being a smartass and him laying down information.
Right. Yeah. It's a phenomenal show. It reminds me kind of if you know was it Fat Man Beyond, the Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin podcast? It's and not just because one guy's white and one guy's black. No,
except I can guarantee you, unlike Kevin Smith, I will never sell out.
You have to be successful to sell out first, right?
Yes, exactly. Or maybe I have to have that first heart attack.
Yes, that's there's fingers crossed, buddy. I'm rooting for you. But yeah, again, some of the credits: you produce and direct the weekly YouTube program, writing and drawing. You're was it updating? And I was pulling information for you, updating your award-winning bestseller graphic novel Code Word Geronimo. So you're updating that. Yep. Writing and drawing for Vindicated, the new novel, the action series. You know,
Yeah, I've been working on that thing for years. And
that's how we first met. That's how we first came across each other.
Yeah, and I was not happy with 3 chapters. And I threw them out, and I took on the mantle of writing and drawing from that point forward, and which is really difficult, especially, you know, with the subject matter, which, you know, we're dealing with very serious, you know, it's an action story. It's, you know, this vigilante, he's active duty military, and he gets red flagged for PTSD, and he's wanting to get back to his team. He's a tier 1 operator. You know, but there's a conspiracy involved because he was red flagged on purpose. But you don't find that out until much later. This first book, you just know that there's something going on in the background, that this was being done to him. He loses a leg in an ambush, and gets his new prosthetic leg, and because he gets red flagged for the PTSD, he can't go back to his unit. He decides to start taking it out on people, and the only people he can take it out on is criminals.
Right. Very much in the vein of like a Punisher, similar.
Yeah,
you know.
Except he's not driven by, you know, like revenge.
Vengeance, yeah.
This is just pure anger, you know. But the problem is, it has an impact on him when he sees that what he's doing is having an impact on society and people. And he starts to take what he's doing seriously, as do 2 of his best friends, who are suffering from injuries and PTSD. And really what I wanted to do is do the first real true action hero who is a disabled veteran, because people's view of what is disabled isn't what it used to be. And part of the plot of this is the police disregard him as the vigilante, because he's missing a leg.
Yeah, how could he?
Yeah, it can't be him. And even though the cop immediately, his radar is like right on him, not you radar, the other radar.
The other radar, right.
And and so, you know, the whole idea is that he befriends this cop, but in the end, there's a bit of anger because you disregarded me. How could you disregard me? How could you think that it wasn't me? You know, that was your mistake.
Yeah. I mean, but if the guy goes around without the prosthetic leg, you know, and then, but, you know, the vigilante is running around fully clothed, both legs working. I mean, it's an easy assumption to be like, well, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Yeah, it's the one-armed man.
You know, I mean, it makes sense. You should have a whole crew, man. A whole crew of like.
But I also put PTSD at the center of the story because I want to talk about it. Hollywood gives people a misconception of what it is. They make it look like people are dysfunctional that have it. It's not.
Yeah.
PTSD is just your body trying to heal from trauma.
Yeah.
This kind of trauma is emotional and mental.
Like, was it sensationalize it? You know what I mean? Like that's what sells the news and things like that.
Exactly. And in fact, there's a line which I think you'll like. That I put in there that I wrote, where Bill, who is based on my grandfather, who shook after World War I constantly, and his post-traumatic stress was just disabling.
Right.
But amazingly, when he got a knife in his hand and was going to carve up a fruit or cut leather, which is what he did for a living, he would stop shaking, and it was that focus. And so I based this character Bill in the story off of him, and he is talking to our main character who's missing a leg and a wheelchair, and they've been playing basketball, and the main character lost the game, and he's like sitting there and he says, "How do you do that, man? How do you take all that bad juju and you're so zen all the time? You know, those bad memories just don't seem to ever impact you." And he says. The main character turns to him and says, "That's because I'm constantly creating all new bad memories."
That's nice. And, I like that.
You know, and the guy's, it's like I don't allow the PTSD to set in.
I dig the hole deeper. You know what I mean? Like, I never have to. Yeah, you don't have to deal with where you are if you just keep digging.
And as funny as it is, it's true, and it's something he eventually does have to deal with in the ongoing story.
Right.
But I wanted PTSD to be a major part of the story because a lot of the people I work with that worked with me and helped on this book are all combat vets.
Yeah.
Buddies of mine that suffer from it, and I wanted them to know that PTSD is kind of a character in the story.
Yeah, it's that invisible gremlin that's just kind of hanging around, right? Just clinging on the back of the guy.
What are you doing next?
Yeah, whispering in your ear, like, "Come on, you could do worse. You could do worse." I once had to speak to a class. They asked me to speak. It was a Veterans Day thing. They're like, "Would you speak to this class about PTSD and all these?" And I was like, "All right." I figure teenagers and older. Like, they had me speaking to like 6 and 7 year olds, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be challenging." But I realized if I could explain to them that, like, look, PTSD is a completely normal function of the brain trying to protect itself. When you burn your hand on a hot stove, your brain immediately goes, "Oh, we're not doing that again." And that is when you're inundated with these combat scenarios and, worried about snipers in the hills and pieces of garbage that will explode and kill you. That's, you're not still in that place, but your brain is still trying to protect itself and go, "Oh my God, there's a piece of garbage in the corner. Watch out." Like, it's all those things. So it's completely
I once described a combat veteran driving down the street as being like the Terminator when you're looking through his eyes and you see all the information.
All the
it's like people walking over an overpass, potential threat, garbage bags on the side of the road, possible IED.
Yep.
It's just like they're identifying everything. And it's, of course, my PTSD is different because I didn't get mine from combat. I got mine from being an abused kid, working in the medical field, EMS specifically, paramedicine, and then mine went overload when my kid got kidnapped, and I didn't realize at the time what was wrong with me. It took all the way almost 12 years for me to figure out, oh, I better get some help. I got shit going on inside my head. Ain't right.
Yeah.
I don't trust people. I'm stressed out all the time. I'm anxiety ridden. My desire for isolation is even greater now than ever in my life. And it's because of the PTSD. I prefer being as alone as possible.
Right. Yeah. I understand that feeling. I do. My closest friend is Radar, and we have a digital relationship. So yeah, let's backtrack a minute. I know we kind of just jumped full throttle in here.
Hey,
so
we got ADD. It's okay.
we know each other too well. So for the audience, give us a quick, obviously this is a very veteran centric, our station and our programming is very veteran centric. So tell us a bit about your military service. When did you get in? What'd you do? All that.
I was sick of my life. I had a full-time job as an artist for a magazine, and I was not happy. It was 1989, trying to figure out what to do. And then 1990 came, and I'm like, I got to do something. And I got a notice in the mail. I thought it was from the tax people. I just had an audit, and I was terrified. Like, oh, God, I don't want another audit. And I opened it up, and I'm like, this is kind of late in the year for an audit. And I opened it up, and it's from the Selective Service Boards, letting me know that I was 26 and I didn't have to keep updating them anymore of where I was located. And I'm like, oh my God, then if there was no war, I never got drafted. Every guy in my family served, and most of them drafted. I'm like, I always assumed I'd get drafted. There'd be a war. Nothing happened. And so there was the answer to my dilemma of getting out of my life in Virginia. Is I went down to a recruiter and answered the questions. Went through the whole stripes thing because I was 26. I was older than a lot of people.
Sure.
And, oh, you're kind of old to be going in the military. And I'm like, fuck you. I can do this. And I was in great shape. I was an athlete. So I went, joined up. I had I hear people complain about, I watched a guy shit himself during reception. And I looked at the guy and said, we haven't even hit basic yet, and you can't handle this? And then my buddy and I got forced with the guy to clean up his shit. and pissed me off. And then we start basic, and it was I'm like, when's it going to get hard? You know, I was made a squad leader. My drill sergeant became one of my friends. I did a caricature of him. That's how it got started. I did a caricature of him because it was funny. He looked like JJ from Good Times. And when he would run, he had the gigantic lips. And when he would run, his mouth would be slightly agape, and his teeth would hold still, and his lips would. It looked really weird. And I loved him. I thought he was the funniest, the coolest dude I'd ever met. So I did a caricature of him, and I come back to the barracks after getting my. I went to the Mini PX to get my hair cut, and I came back, and someone's going, "Yo, Kissell, man, drill sergeant wants to talk to you. He saw your artwork." And I, whatever. And I went on down to my room, and you know, because our barracks was split up into bays and then private rooms for the squad leaders.
Right.
And I hit my room, throw my shit up on my bunk, and another dude comes and goes, "Yo, Kissell, drill sergeant's looking for you." And I'm like, "For what?" And he says, "He saw that drawing you did." And I started going, "Oh shit, did he really see?" And then in the military, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, it's called echo, where drill sergeant yells an echo and everybody has to repeat him. That way he makes sure everybody hears.
Right.
And he goes, drill sergeant goes, "Echo," and everybody goes, "Echo," and then he yells, private, he called me Private Kissell, report. And so I go down there, I'm started shaking. I'm like, "Oh shit, what did I do? Why did I do that drawing? Why do I have to always be funny?"
Right.
And drill sergeant calls me in here, tells me to stand at ease, relax. But I'm scared shitless. And he holds up the drawing, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck a diddle. He has the artwork." Oh. He goes, "You draw this?" I said, "Yes, drill sergeant." He goes, Relax. We're just having a conversation here." And I'm like, "Okay." So he says, "You did this artwork?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Can you draw kids?"
Awkward.
And I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "I'd like you to draw my kids. Do a portrait of my kids." So I did. And I hung out with him. His wife kicked him out, and he lived in the barracks with us. And I was almost always down in the barracks. He thought I was the funniest, coolest dude. All the drill sergeants liked me, mostly because my second week there, I knocked the shit out of somebody right in front of a drill sergeant, knocked him right on his ass.
Well, and I think you're probably almost the same age as most of the drill sergeants at that point, too.
I was actually older than my first sergeant and my drill sergeant.
Jeez.
And by about a year to 2 years. And we all got along. I was sad to graduate and went on to AIT, and then I had this close relationship with my DI there too. He called me his top dog. And nobody was allowed to fuck with me. And I fucked with people all the time. I fucked with drill sergeants all the time. And they didn't know what to make of me because I was smarter than them. And I was aware of what they were doing when they were doing it.
Right. The psychological part of it.
Yeah. And because I never fucked up. I was just a top soldier all the time. And I had this one drill sergeant. He was a reservist. And he came there for like a week, I think. And he walked up to me, and he had this, I don't even want to tell the story because it's so crude. But he walked up, and he's like, I hear you're married and have a kid? I said, yeah. And so he says, can I see a picture? And all my guys in my squad are like sitting on the ground because we're waiting for weapons line to go pick up our weapons. And I'm like, okay. And I look down, and they're all like, what the hell is that drill sergeant talking to Kissell for like that? They're like, talking to him like he's a buddy. And so he just, I showed him pictures of my, I pulled out my military Velcro wallet.
Right.
Whipped out a picture of my woman and my kid. And he goes, oh, yeah. He says, you want to see a picture of my girlfriend? I'm like, sure. And then I look down, and my guys are like, really? Their mouths are open. And so he pulls out this photo from his wallet. And this woman is just so butt fucking ugly. I'm like going, holy shit. My head pulled back a little bit from it. But then I'm like, oh, now I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I got to say something. Compliment the photo. And I said, that is a great photograph.
Nice. That is a very square picture.
Yes, and he responds by going, "That's my sister."
Oh.
And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, dude, you just told me you're going to show me a picture of your girlfriend, and then you show me that butt-fucking ugly woman in my response to compliment the photo, and now you tell me it's your sister? So that happens in my head like that. And I immediately respond, so that's how it is in your family.
Nice. Yeah.
And that dude's eyes got really huge and his mouth puckered up and I put my hands together in a diamond shape. I said, "You just want me to beat my face right now, Drill Sergeant?" And he goes,
Smart.
No, it's cool. And he turned around and just walked away from me. And I could tell he had this look on his face like, where'd I go wrong? I think he was trying to fuck with me, but it completely derailed on him.
Right.
And then I turned around to my guys and I quoted the Mary Poppins line because all of them were sitting there with their mouths open like, what the fuck? And I turned around and I said, shut your mouth. You're not codfish.
So what did you end up actually joining to do in the military?
Oh, I was one of them crazy combat medics. I was already in the medical field, and it was, I'm not a pacifist as some sergeants made the mistake of calling me. I'm not a pacifist. I'm a conscientious objector, but I'm extremely patriotic. And my drill sergeant, my first sergeant, Top, he once referred to me as a pacifist. And I said, Top, I'm not a pacifist. I'm a conscientious objector. He says, well, what's the difference? And I explained that a conscientious objector won't kill unless they feel it is the only thing left to them. A pacifist, they'll offer you the other cheek when you slap them.
Right.
Me, on the other hand, I think I'm somewhere past even being a conscious objector, because if you fuck with me, I may just beat the shit out of you. And they found that out in the military, because I beat the shit out of a lot of guys that got out of line. Because that's how it is in the military. It's I don't know about you, but I found it to be akin to being in prison with just a lot less gay sex.
I wouldn't say a lot less. Less. We'll just say less.
Less. It's just less.
We joke. We kid.
Yeah,
no. All right. So you served a couple years. I'm sure being.
I left the military for only one reason, was to raise my kid.
Right.
And I gave up my career so my wife could continue. And but then that marriage fell apart, and then I was like, well, that was pointless.
that was one way it could go.
Because I really love being in the military.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So art had been a part of your life, obviously, before the military. And I mean, like, how early do you remember really having a passion for it?
I have memories going way back to between age 2 and 3, and I was drawing. My mom used to joke that I was born with a pencil in my hand, which I would always joke back, that must have hurt. And but the fact is, she kept a lot of my artwork over the years, and some of it dated all the way back to when I was 2 to 3 years old.
Wow. And
my sister Luann taught me how to draw faces as a kid, and how to eventually how to even draw hands. My oldest boy, Benjamin, by the time he was 13, he was better than I was when I was 20 as an artist.
Wow.
And because art's in the family, all my kids are artists.
And so you get out of the military. I know you had dabbled in a couple different things. When was that kind of shift into? Because I know you. I mean, my God, we kind of covered it. You went into film reviewing and graphic work.
In the mid '90s, I started working for the Octopus magazine, which was a major alternative news magazine in Illinois. Roger Ebert had worked for them before. And basically, I was brought in as an artist first. I did a lot of cover work, interior art, and as well as sequential art for an ongoing comic strip. And then I got invited to a party later that year. I think it was the company Christmas party, and Paul, the publisher, editor in chief, I guess would be the better way to refer to him, watched me at the party and just said, "You are so funny when you skewer people. You should, and when you start talking movies, you really rip them apart." He says, "You should do reviews for us." And so I became the couch potato critic. Instead of a movie, theatrical movies, I did home video reviews, movies that were just coming out on video. Okay. Hence the name Couch Potato Critic. And I wrote a lot of reviews. And then I started doing interviews. And first one being Bruce Campbell.
Oh, wow.
And I started doing more and more interviews to where it just sort of intermixed. So I was like just a regular writer for the magazine, as well as artist. Wow. And I did that for years. And then I moved, and the magazine got bought out and then slowly died. A New Jersey company bought it and just killed it. And so I ended up working for an internet marketing company and as their lead artist. And I did that for years. And gradually, President Bush was president, and the economy started tanking towards the end of his time in office. And I was getting really concerned about my job as an artist. And then the next guy came in, and the economy took an absolute shit, and never got better. And so I got laid off from the job, and I couldn't find regular work again. Because when you're in a down economy, one of the single first things to go is creative departments.
Sure.
Because they can always outsource them. So there was nobody hiring for creative. And so I started my career working for IDW right then and there, being a freelance artist. And initially I was their video director. I did animation. I took their comic titles and I would animate the comic pages, Steve Niles comic books. Just a lot of them. I did Transformers All Hail Megatron. I did the animated trailer for that, scored the music for it. They were just like, "You do everything." And I'm like, "Yeah." And so it became kind of a joke that I was a one-person team. I did everything. And then Tom Waltz, who is just one of the senior writers at IDW, walked in to talk to Ted Adams and Chris Ryle. And those are two guys that you can actually say my name to, and they know who I am. They're the heads of IDW, or were. And Tom walks in and says, Gerry is actually, because he's a veteran too, and he wanted to really get me some work. Gerry's a better artist than he is a video director. And they started laughing. He thought it was a joke. And he pulled out a portfolio, they printed off and showed it to him. And that was when my art career started for IDW, right there.
Wow. The
last thing I made was All Hail Megatron. And then I released Code Word Geronimo. And this is the funny thing. Code Word Geronimo was released right around the same time, within days of each other, with All Hail Megatron. And my book outsold All Hail Megatron, which I did the trailer for.
Well, I mean, that's it speaks to the work. I just put into the chats your website for your work, the kisselart.com. If you guys want to go out and check out, I mean, I've perused, and you have some absolute incredible stuff. Touched, I mean, so much of geek history and nerd culture, and one of my favorites, Back to the Future work that you had done, which I gorgeous, love it.
Yeah, I worked with Alex, one of my buddies, on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. You got the Bruce Campbell pick. You've got, and I see.
Oh, you've seen the poster for the Bruce Campbell movie?
Yep, the running time. Yeah, the Alan Wake work you've done. Like, it's all up there. The Code Word Geronimo. I mean, it's incredible work. I mean, really,
thank you
have a very unique style, all of your own.
Now, Bruce's quote is up there on my page. If you look over on the right-hand side, there's a quote by Bruce. But Josh Becker, who's the film director of that movie, I've worked with him a lot. He was my first movie gig back in the 90s. And his quote used to be on my page, and I took it down because I felt that as much as I love it, it really wasn't going to get me any jobs. And the quote was from Josh Becker: "Gerry sucks less than any other artist I've ever worked with."
That's a huge compliment.
I fucking loved it. It made me laugh, but I'm like, it's a professional site. I should really, and I have other quotes from Josh on my artwork. So
right, yeah. No, we got we. I understand when you get a review that's good, but it's like what can I really put this on to really sell me? But that's an awesome quote to have. But you guys really should check out the work. Again, I'm a huge Back to the Future just appreciator and lover of, and I see all the work you've done with those covers and the artwork. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, what you have, I don't even know what to talk about because you have so many Stokes and so many different fires.
Well, one of the bigger Stokes for me is Dale Dye. I befriended him and Julia in 2006, and because I was wanting to start a company with some other veterans that would do veteran-themed entertainment that would get away from what Hollywood was doing, which is making us not look so good. Mm-hmm. And it's like, stop trying to make soldiers and veterans look bad. And even when they're trying to do something good, they still can make us look bad. Like whenever they depict the PTSD, as I said, they make us look like we're broken or dysfunctional. It's like, that's not what it is at all. Mm-hmm. But Dale, I got in touch with him. We started this company together, all of us. It was called Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment. And I gave the name because there's a story behind me saying that to somebody in the military over a radio. And they're like, "Who is this?" It was like, "Who is this? What's your operating number?" Like from Star Wars. And I'm like, "You don't know who this is?" And then I said, "Charlie Foxtrot out." And I got off the radio, pulled my antenna down so they couldn't track me. And I went back to my camp. And, I'm like, I want to have that name. And a lot of people don't know what Charlie Foxtrot means. Mm-hmm. You guys in the military know. It means clusterfuck. And I thought it'd be funny to have a production company called Clusterfuck Entertainment.
Yeah. A very cleverly disguised version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charlie Foxtrot. Oh, that sounds so military. And I would just be tickled anytime some non-military person would say it, and I'd go, "You don't know what you said," because I'm a dick. Right. And but eventually that led it came so close to succeeding. We were going to make a movie in northern Iraq, and the Kurdish government was going to pay for it. We had all the deals in line, and then they had some serious problems in Iraq, and it just all suddenly just fell through. And
this is the first time I'm hearing of this Iraq nonsense. What happened?
Well, it was the Kurdish government started having serious problems, and all that money that was going to be used to make this film called City of Fire just fell through. It died instantly. And we tried to pick up the pieces. We couldn't do it. And we tried doing some other stuff. And then finally, Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment just went away. And I went on with my career. The only thing that Charlie Foxtrot got its name on was my book, Code Word Geronimo. It's on the back of the IDW Publishing book, the logo that I designed for Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment. And, but, it went away, sadly. I was very sad to see it die. Because that included Dale Dye, John Del Vecchio, Doug Esposito, and Tom Waltz from IDW. And we were all partners. And, things just, happen. It's the thing why I'm so zen. I've seen enough things fall apart that I just don't lose my shit when it happens. I'm like, nah, there you go.
And
that
happens. I think that's part of being in the industry of, obviously you're in the art industry, very similar to the entertainment industry, where handshakes are made and promises are made and deals are struck, and then
exactly.
nothing.
And I still make a good, good life doing what I do. I work for Dale Dye still to this day. I designed their Warriors Inc. logo. I designed their Warriors Publishing Group logo. I do all their book covers. And I think this is the quietest it's been. I haven't talked to them in about 4.5 weeks. Because I don't normally go very long without talking to Dale and Julia. Yeah. And in fact, Dale, I will point out, Dale is one of 3 people on this planet that when he says son to me, my ass clenches like my XO would make my ass clench.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be chewed out. What did I do wrong? Because he calls me Gary when I do things right. But when he says son, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
No. Man, like that's, I can't imagine, the level of effort that goes into. I know a lot of artists. I'm lucky to call friend Mark Baker, the guy behind Private Murphy, and all these guys that are just phenomenal artists and talented guys, veterans as well. And it's so hard to put your all into something, and for reasons that are a lot of times out of your control, right? If somebody doesn't buy into it, if somebody reneges on a promise, and if somebody falls through on what there's only so much you can control. But when you have this passion and this love for what you're doing, it's incredible. And I've seen you more than anybody else that I know that really, it's like, no matter what happens, it's always like, on to the next thing, on to the next 2 things, on to the next 3 things. How do you keep that?
It's
momentum?
It's a basic stick-to-itiveness that I think I inherited from my dad. I just, I get up, dust myself off, and I'm like, all right, that didn't work. What next? And I've got so many ideas that I'm working on. Like Vindicated. Vindicated is going to be my, probably the best thing I ever do.
Your magnum opus.
Yeah, it's just, I look at it and just when I think that I'm like, this is good, I'm like, yeah, but it's not great. And there's this part of the story arc that doesn't work here. Well, it's got to work. I got to make that work. So I go back and I got to perfect it before I can actually put it out. And I'll probably only draw the first graphic novel, and then probably work with someone else to help me with the artwork, because it takes so long to do this.
Sure.
When I get to focus on the writing, it's better. But like with, I put a few months into work on a film for Dale Dye. Tom Hanks is the executive producer. Gary Sinise is a producer on it. It's, I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but it's a film that should see the light of day. No better place to die. It's one of the inland battles on D-Day that nobody really talks about, and it was one of the bloodiest battles.
Wow.
And it's got one of the most true heroic moments I actually, I'll admit this, I had tears in my eyes while I was drawing the scene. Where I don't want to tell you what happens.
No, don't spoil it. No spoilers, man. No spoilers.
But I got so emotionally wrapped up, and I've done that. Like when I'm working on my book, Vindicated, I had tears in my eyes in several scenes that I'm drawing, and I got to get up and take a break because I get too emotionally wrapped up in it, because I know what's really going on in it, and it gets to me. One of the few things that makes me cry, man, is war films. Sure. Good war films.
Yeah, that really captures that emotion, not just the graphic for the graphic nature, but really captures the emotions, and you can feel what's happening in the story.
Yeah, from the feeling of desperation to the willingness of self-sacrifice. Those are things that I always tell people. When you hear someone say romantic, they really don't know the iteration, the history of that word. They don't know where it really comes from. And of course, the truest, most romantic notion is for one soldier to give their life for another. And so I consider, my romantic stories are usually military stories.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Well, listen, if I was ever going to option my story out to anybody, it would definitely be you, because you would bring it to life better than anyone, I think. You've got a thing. All right. So we talked about all this and all your. Right now, one of my favorite things is to tune into your show. This is your platform. Tell us about it, promote it, get the people excited and interested in what it is.
Well, Keith and I do a show on YouTube called Pop Culture Minefield, and the name was given to us by Batman artist and co-creator of Bane himself, Graham Nolan, he and Chuck are close friends of mine. And Graham gave us the name for our show, and I loved it. And so we started doing this show. We talk about the film industry. We talk about entertainment, focusing more on nerd stuff, science fiction, horror. We talk about comic books. We just talk about a lot of it. We do reviews. We do analysis. We talk about rumors. But on top of that, we now work with Mikey Sutton from Geekosity magazine. Right. And Mikey is a top-notch scoop guy. And he took a shine to us. He thinks we're hilarious, and he loves working with us. So we do scoops on the show now, exclusive scoops, as well as discussing scoops that he's released, and for Geekosity. And it's still our show, but we put the Geekosity logo up to let him know that's who we're talking about.
Right.
And it's cross-promotion, but he's got far more followers than us. And I would attribute that some of our popularity, it comes from that. And plus some of the other shows that have taken a shine to us, like Midnight's Edge and World Class Bullshitters in particular. Those guys think we're great. They have me on it regularly. They like the way, well, I'm funny. So I'm always good. I have always something that's mentally handicapped to say, and
what do you think? Let me ask you. Like I've seen Sutton's, man, some of his scoops, and really, I mean, he does a phenomenal job. And I've talked about some of them on my show.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate.
It's really good, really well thought. And when you like sit and think about it, because sometimes I'll go, "What? That doesn't make." And you sit and think, you go, "Oh yeah, okay, I could see that. I could see how that's tying together." I remember not too long ago, and we talked about this on our show, that he, if I remember correctly, he had put out that like, Disney's in talks and figuring out how they're going to move past Black Panther. And this was a while ago. And I was like, man, why? That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Yeah. And then now,
because we had talked about that too, just the other day, Keith and I, because we had that light go on going, they were aware he was dying.
Yeah.
And that's why we heard all that scuttlebutt we were hearing. That's why we were hearing it.
Yep.
And I'm fine with what they're doing, because I like that character, that female from The Walking Dead. I can't think of her name right now. It escapes me. But she's a great actress. She's a badass. And I think that her taking on the mantle, it would be an interesting twist and turn to the show or to the film. But, we're also part of a culture where we look at it and go, oh, come on, is this wokeness coming on? And we write a fine line. We talk about it all the time, because I'm very anti-woke. I despise woke movies and TV shows. I can't stand it. It's like, I'm sorry, I had somebody talking behind me. And but basically, we are dealing with that wokeness all the time, and we have to find a way to get things back to where, because you shouldn't have to be woke.
Right. I mean, I definitely think
political points across.
Yeah, there's
Rod Serling's a good example.
Yeah, there's a fine line, or maybe not so fine, in that like there's great storytelling that will, for the sake of the story, make certain changes, but to do it to appease the masses, regardless of story, that's where it really starts to irk me.
Well, that's the problem, because we have just everybody has weak writing. It's like when I heard that Peele was going to be doing Twilight Zone, I saw the trailer, I thought, this looks interesting. I got excited about it, and then I started watching it, and I'm like, this is garbage. This is shitty writing. It's like, do you not? And I started looking through there, and it's like they had one writer who didn't write the scripts. He just added stuff here and there. And it's like, you know what? You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Rod Serling is rolling in his grave over what Peele did with his show, because Rod Serling made sure that he hired the best writers that were working, that he knew and that he admired. And that's a fact. And you got guys that were known for Psycho and it was the Omega Man, the original one, The Last Man on Earth. I can't remember the title of the film or the book, but Richard Matheson, and basically he would get writers like that or work with Bradbury. These were names that were identified with quality writing. And what does Peele do? He gets these people. Nobody knows who these. They have no science fiction under their belt, none whatsoever. So you get garbage writing. It's the same thing with Discovery. Crap writers. Alex Kurtzman's a shitty writer, just one of the worst. I joke all the time that he should be taken out and treated like a harp seal. I don't know if anybody gets that joke.
What do you think? See, I'm always on the optimism spectrum. So what would you right now give your A+, 2 thumbs up? What's the best writing? What's doing the best job out there right now?
Well, one got canceled, and I think it's because it was too slow. Was the Dark Crystal series on Netflix? It was a really good show. I like a lot of oh my God, The Expanse. You just don't get better writing than on that show. I mean, what a quality show. No pandering.
Yeah.
There's no pandering in that show. It is just straight up good writing, good characters, played by great actors, great special effects. The science is spot on. Because I'm a science nerd too.
Yeah.
And so, that is, in my opinion, right now still the best thing that's on is The Expanse.
Yeah. I've been watching I've been up on Lovecraft Country. It's an interesting show. I find it fast.
It's overly didactic.
I've never been like a science fiction in the sense of like horror and monsters and alien. Well, maybe a little bit aliens, but like with the mystical occult, this stuff never really drew my attention. So I think maybe that's why this show I'm kind of like,
The creature effects in it are really good. I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft. My 2 favorite horror writers were H.P. Lovecraft and the guy who did Hellraiser. Clive Barker. Just great horror. I'm not a big fan of Stephen King. I think he's done some really good stuff that I liked. But my opinion of Stephen King is usually read to the last chapter, close the book, make up your own ending, because I don't think he knows how to write an ending worth of shit. Oh shit! I wrote 1,200 pages. I better wrap this up.
Yeah, that's actually, that should be a piece of life advice for everything. Read to the last chapter and then make up your own ending.
Make up your own ending.
I would have put that on a shirt. Always read to the last chapter and Gerry Kissell. That'll be your quote.
There's a couple of people who've stolen quotes from me. Rod Lurie, who directed The Outpost. Yeah. He did it live on air on our show. He said, "I'm stealing that. I really like that." I said, just give me credit." He goes, No. I'm
stealing it. Yeah, that's the definition of stealing. I'm not going to.
And then Chuck Dixon saw something I wrote once, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to take that. I want to use that. Is that okay with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And it's the one where I told a guy in real life. I looked at him. He was like, he was puffing his peacock feathers up in the Army, and I turned and looked at him and I went, "Dude, you have no idea. I can kill you more ways than you know how to die." And Chuck was like, "That's a great fucking line." I went, "Yeah, I know." It worked. You got the guy to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, we're down to the last few minutes. I want to give you the chance to, promote your wares. Where can people follow you? Where can people find you? What do you have that people can check out?
Well, right now I'm working on a private commission for Stargate SG-1. It's a huge 26 by 40 painting I'm doing. And I sent a digital copy to you on Skype. And I'm also working on a comic book for Barry Branscombe, a buddy of mine. And I really like this book. I'm doing the artwork for it, and past that, I'm not really doing much. People want to commission me. I'm always available, sort of. I'll give you a schedule if you want me to do some work.
Quasi available.
Yeah. I'm quasi available all the time. Just hit me up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Gerry Kissell, the way you see it spelled, GerryKissell. You can also find me through KissellArt.com. You can always visit us on Pop Culture Minefield on YouTube. Basically, get a hold of me if you want something. Watch our show, enjoy it, like it, put comments. I love it when people interact with me on stuff. I really love social media. I have fun using it to promote our show as well as just talk with my friends in general. A lot of people, you see it. You're on my page too. Oh, yeah. People love getting on my page, and we get into nice little discussions, and usually about film. Sometimes politics, very rarely. I'm not overly political on my page.
Sure. No, it's if nothing else, it's always entertaining. So, awesome. Hey, man, I really thank you so much for being on the show and taking us down memory lane and talking about all this stuff. This has been a blast. I want to. At some point, we got to have you back on and really break into
because I've got a couple of stories I would love to tell you.
Oh yeah, see, way to bait me.
The hippie at Walmart.
What was that?
The hippie at Walmart, and the time that I was asked to save a chair when I was in medical training in the Army.
There you go. We're teasing the next appearance of Gerry Kissell, which I've been calling you Kissell, man. That's so disrespectful.
No, that's fine. That's fine. My uncle went by Kissell. My dad and I go by Kissell. The reason it's technically Kissell is because it's double consonant, the two S's, with a vowel followed by another double consonant. That makes that vowel soft.
Well, there you go. On top of everything you got schooled on some grammar right there. That is beautiful.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Love it. All right, man. Hang in there. We're gonna take a short break, everybody. We'll be back with more show, and we'll see you in a bit. Break. Shots. Hey guys, welcome back. We're back. Excuse me. That was a fun conversation. Gerry is he's a hoot. He's a hoot and a character and quite an entertaining person to chat with. You guys should hear the stuff. You know, we're off air. We're behind. We're in the green room, the virtual green room as he called it, and we're just chit chatting and gossiping. It's a fun time. But
he wanted me to video it. It was really weird.
Yeah, he's like, "Where's Radar? I want him to watch while we do this." So, anywho, what'd you think? What'd you think?
Dude, it was fun. You guys, I love when you have your buddies on, people who know you like personally, and you guys can like. I mean, like we have fun with like a real guest. I'm not saying a real guest, but like the
real guest.
What a way no, the people like when we have
sure. People that we're not affiliated with.
Yes, and it's a kind of a more standard platform, a more refined kind of, you know what I mean?
There's when you effort put into it.
Well, I mean, no, it's kind of more like it's more of an interview. Okay, yeah. When you have somebody you personally know on, it's more of like a bullshit session. Yeah. You know what I mean? You guys just bullshit about fucking whatever. And I think that's kind of why, one, I don't interrupt. I let you guys just go. Because you guys are bullshitting. You guys talking about fucking whatever. Well, you guys go. You know what I mean? And then two, like the people in the chat's like, whoa. Guys it's like just natural. You guys just go. Yeah. You know, when we have an actual, you know, someone we're not affiliated guest on, then we're all, and then we all have the same kind of questions. Like, oh, what kind of background do you have? What do you have? You know what I mean? So it's a different dynamic, but it's fun both ways.
Yeah. So. No, it was a great thing. And I look forward to the next time we have him on. We were just joking that, like, you know, this is the first time you have a guest on. It's the origin story, right? We have to understand, where'd you come from? How did you get to where you are? And before you know it, the time's up. So the next time you can really have a conversation with somebody, you can really skip all that and be like, let's get into the meat of it. Like, let's tell those stories. Let's talk about the crazy events and things like that. And so, you know, I always the right thing to do is that first interview is, you know, give them a platform to, you know, like, this is who I am. This is where I've been. This is where I'm at. And then the next time you get to be, it's more of a bullshit session and you can have some more fun with it. I think back to my first two appearances on WTF Nation Radio when I was a guest, when I was but just a guest. And, you know, the first time we talked about, you know, my military experience and my injury and things like that. And the next time on, it was just swapping really fun stories. And it was a lot more entertaining, I think. So, yeah. So I look forward to the next time we get to talk to Gerry. It's going to be.
I was never a guest. There's like
nobody likes you, Radar.
Oh, I knew that. I'd have to come on the internet.
Do I have to hide your bubble again? Do I have to put away your bubble? I will put you away. It
doesn't matter. It just is live on my face anyway. So
I will put your bubble away. All right. Couple more little things that we didn't get to earlier that I just wanted to wrap up and give you guys some closure on. Get to my write-ins. Yeah, we left off on the WandaVision, right? We were talking about WandaVision and the trailer looked amazing. Let me put us back in. If I put us back in.
I'm kind of disappointed though there was no Wanda Sykes in
that. Oh man, you got some dad jokes today. I love it. All right, so in keeping with the Disney Plus news, right? We talked Falcon and Winter Soldier. We talked WandaVision. There's been some news for She-Hulk. After many actresses have been wooed and auditioned, they have finally selected who will play She-Hulk in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series and also make the jump to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The winning actress who run the role, she's an Emmy winner, actress Tatiana Maslany. I don't know if a lot of people are going to recognize that name. Let me.
Is that the AT&T chick?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, that is not the AT&T chick.
Are you sure? Hold on a minute.
No,
pretty sure about it. Pretty sure about it, dude. Hold on. Let me find that AT&T chick.
Pretty sure it's not. I'm in fact not even pretty sure. I'm entirely sure it's not.
Oh no, that's Melania Vaintrub.
Yes, I'm gonna share a picture here.
The AT&T girl. Hold on.
I'm gonna share a picture so you guys can see who Tatiana Maslany is best known for her starring role in Orphan Black. It's a great show. She won an Emmy for it. I can't even explain what it is. Like she's a clone of herself, and she plays like multiple versions, and they all have like different kind of personalities. It's crazy. It's wild. It's a wild show. But I think this is, of all the people that they had rumored were in the running and were rumoring to who was going to get the role, she never came up. Like, her name never really came up. But the more I've been sitting and stewing on it, the more that I'm like kind of researching the work she's done, I think she's a great choice. I really think it's a great choice. She obviously doesn't look like She-Hulk, but that's kind of the point. She's not really playing She-Hulk. She's playing Jennifer Walters, the non-Hulk version, right? The same way Mark Ruffalo doesn't play Hulk. He plays Bruce Banner, and Hulk is a CGI big monster thing. So I can absolutely see her playing, for those that don't know, Jennifer Walters in the comic books was the cousin of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. She's a lawyer by day, but when she falls ill, and depending which storyline you're following, she falls ill for a number of reasons, but she falls ill, ends up getting a blood transfusion from Bruce Banner, only one who can give her the blood transfusion. She ends up getting very similar powers to Hulk. Her version, kind of very much what they did in Endgame. Her version, she hulks out, but keeps the intelligence. So very much like the smart Hulk we got in Endgame, that's kind of her She-Hulk. She's still super intelligent, but she's got all the female characteristics of a Hulk. So and obviously it's very rumored that Mark Ruffalo will appear in this Disney Plus series, because otherwise how the hell did she get Hulk powers if Hulk's not involved somehow? But yeah, she Maslany starred in BBC America's Orphan Black for 5 seasons, nominated for 3 Emmys and 1 Golden Globe over the course of the show's 5-year run. She recently is seen starring in HBO's Perry Mason. So she's definitely got her acting chops. They picked the right one. But based on looks alone, what do you think? Do you think that's a good Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk?
I guess. She's not as hot as AT&T girl. Sorry about it.
Well, on merits of hotness, maybe she didn't win the popular vote. But
man, I don't know. Here's the deal, and I'm going to say this, right?
Go for it, man. Never pull your punches with me.
If I don't, fuck that. You don't have to make it look like that chick. Don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can cast like literally any actress for it, right?
You could cast Carrot Top, and he's playing She-Hulk.
Oh, I'm actress, like without boy bits.
I'm just saying
you can make any actress She-Hulk. You don't have to take. She does look comparatively like the artist rendition of She-Hulk, right?
If anything,
right.
I think they're more looking at like, does she bear similar resemblance to Mark Ruffalo, right? Because they're supposed to play cousins. So I mean,
you gotta do that, dude.
You don't have to.
This is where your canon shit fucking gets in the way. Okay, you can. Okay, AT&T chick has fucking dark hair, can make it work.
Again, I'm not arguing that they couldn't. I'm not arguing they couldn't. I'm just saying, if I'm the casting director, I obviously want somebody that
have a casting couch.
I want someone.
Joke's on you. It's not even a real movie. Anyway, what? Sorry about it. Anyway, back to the story. Okay, if you're casting this part, right?
Yes, I want someone who has acting chops. That's for me. Exactly. That's first and foremost. I want someone who can act the shit out of this part, because a character like She-Hulk can be really written off as our guest was saying, very woke. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have somebody that can act it, you don't have the writers that can just really come up with a good story. But again, part of my mind is always going to go, well, she's playing the cousin of Bruce Banner. Maybe she should have, like, I can see a resemblance. I can see a bit of Mark Ruffalo. That's going to sound gross when I say it out loud. I can see a bit of Mark Ruffalo inside of her. You know, how much I can't say.
You have to get her OnlyFans for that one or whatever. But
oh man, giggity,
okay. But anyway, back to the story. Seriously though, like, okay, if you're gonna go with the whole yes, she does bear some resemblance.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, you can play off that. Should you? Should that be?
It shouldn't be.
Honestly, even in their like desire to cast it, right? This is me. This is coming from me, right? Mm-hmm. This is coming from old Radar, and we know how Radar appreciates content. Mm-hmm. I don't care about canon. I care about content. Okay. Why not have the big titty 18? I'm just saying. Like,
why not the big titties? Okay, look. All I'm saying is
I
agree.
Look at She-Hulk
on
the right. Okay,
I agree.
She-Hulk, ripped up shirt, little green boobies almost hanging out already.
I see what you're going with this. I see where you're going with this.
And then you're going to appeal to a larger audience.
Okay. So all I'm saying is, let's say you pick the 3 best actresses. Pure, simple, the 3 best actresses that work for your budget, obviously, because you're not going to be having some, megastar do this small Disney Plus thing. But the 3 best actresses that work for the budget. And then all I'm saying is, when you look at the 3 of them, and you go, all 3 of them could do the perfect job, then maybe go, well, which one looks most like Mark Ruffalo, and go with that one.
That's literally why half of Hollywood got in trouble, right?
That's nothing to do with why Hollywood's got in trouble. They play and hide the weenie. That's why they got in trouble.
Dude who's like gonna die in prison for fucking.
That's sexually assaulting the actresses. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, we don't want to. No, I'm not talking about any of them. We don't be sexually assaulting anybody. That's wrong and inappropriate. And no,
oh, God.
What I'm saying is, okay, budget wise, Chica did fucking AT&T commercials, right?
Yeah.
So she's not an A-list fucking actress. Garnishing.
Are you this girl's agent? Why are you selling her so hard? Like, and I have nobody to, like, you can't push her on me. I have no say in it.
Hey, have AT&T Chica call me. Call me.
We want to represent AT&T chick right here.
Her name. Hold on, let me find her name again. I googled her and everything. I even sent you a picture of her.
Guys, if you know AT&T chick, you let her know. We will represent her. We're gonna fight for her. She will be affiliated with WTF Nation Radio. She will officially be our first.
Hey, when I get a show, I'm gonna need a co-host. Melania Trub.
Wow, so she just got downgraded from actress to co-host on a small podcast.
Well, I don't know.
What a downgrade for that poor woman. Jesus.
Whatever, maybe hey, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Oh man. At least give her like this, she could be the celebrity, like, when you're like, all right, now throwing it over to our celebrity correspondent, and like let her have like something.
Yeah, and she can like sell phones or some shit. I don't know what she does.
Oh yes, Heath, Spanky for She-Hulk 2020. There
yes, Spanky would do amazing. Spanky be She-Hulk.
Spanky She-Hulk. I'm with it. We might have started the petition a little late after they casted the person, but
whatever.
Nevertheless, let's Spanky for She-Hulk. We're starting this hashtag Spanky for She-Hulk. I love it. Love it.
Do it.
All right. So that's that. One last bit. Excuse me.
You all right? You got the Rona over there?
We got the Ronas. One last bit of TV news for y'all. Just came out today. I have some sad news. I know this is going to affect you so dramatically. You ready for this? Are you sitting down?
Yeah, you can see me on video.
You could be really short, and you could be standing. For all I know.
That's true. I just stand here in front of my desk for like 3 hours.
It's very healthy for you to stand in front of a desk. Supergirl
All right, then.
The CW show has been canceled. It has been announced that they will get one more season, the 6th season, and it will end the series after the 6th season, which it's going to do 20. It's going to do a 20-episode season. It's going to be 20 episodes, and will come to an end. I think they're going to go into production later this month. Obviously, because of COVID, they're a little behind. The irony of canceling Supergirl today of all days. You want to know what the irony is in that? Speaking of canon, how do you say it? Canonically, I don't know how you would say of canon of canon in comic books. September 22nd today is Supergirl's birthday in the comic books. Speaking to canon. So I find that very ironic that on what it would be her birthday to cancel the show.
It's kind of fucking funny. Sorry about it.
Yeah. Not sorry about it.
No, I'm not sorry about it. Sorry.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's not a bad show. It's not a bad show. I mean, I wouldn't put it up there as one of my favorite superhero shows, but it's not bad.
No one would.
I mean, it's not bad. I've seen bad. It's not bad. And then you know what? Real quick, I'm gonna give you guys. We're gonna do like the 60-second clip here, or not the clip, but the 60 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna run through these headlines really quick, just to give you guys a quick last second tasting. So in movie news, the Flash movie is effectively what they're calling a restart. They're saying that, when the movie comes out, when the movie tells its story, they're basically going to restart the DC extended movie universe. They're obviously gonna fuck with the timeline and fuck with the realities. We already talked about how Michael Keaton's gonna be Batman, but Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman, so they're obviously messing with the time stream, and they're gonna use this movie as a jumping off point to kind of restart everything, and who knows what the DC universe will look like after that. So that's one story.
They don't know. DC don't know what the DC universe is going to look like in
they have
a year.
No idea.
Sorry about it.
Okay. Speaking of HBO's Lovecraft Country, which is, I think, a good show. Ups and downs. It can be a good show. The main actor portraying Atticus, or Tick, as he's referred to in the thing, is a guy named Jonathan Majors. And Jonathan Majors, who is also upcoming, he'll be in Spike Lee's Da 5 Bloods with the late Chadwick Boseman. In the latest development, it looks like Marvel's Ant-Man 3 has casted him to what they're calling a quote-unquote major role. Now, the rumors of who he will be playing in this major role in Ant-Man 3 is actually a very popular Marvel villain, Kang the Conqueror. Now, Kang the Conqueror, stupid name, but is actually a pretty badass dude because he's a villain who basically time travels. So he's lived everywhere from the far future to the far Egyptian past to present day, and he's a real pain in the ass for the Avengers, as time travelers would be. So if those rumors are correct, introducing a time traveler as part of the Ant-Man series and then having him play a much bigger role in he'd probably be, this would probably be an entry role that they would then spawn into a much bigger overarching, almost like a Thanos, like a bigger overarching villain. But I've heard, honestly, for Ant-Man 3, I've heard everything from they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four, they're going to introduce the X-Men, they're going to introduce MODOK, they're going to introduce Kang the Conqueror. I've heard just about everything. Apparently, they're trying to fit into this movie. So I don't know what's going to really happen. Time will tell. Next story. In good news, I told you I'm gonna power through this. 60 seconds. I don't know how much time I'm already. We gotta get a clock. 60 second stopwatch.
Just bing.
Next story. Two more. Chris Hemsworth. We've talked about this before. that Chris Hemsworth was going to do one more Thor movie.
He was going to do one more what?
Thor. He was going to do Thor 4. You know, it's being called Love and Thunder. And that he was done. And that contractually he was done. Well, apparently that doesn't seem to be the case, because Chris Hemsworth himself has said that he will reprise the role yet again in Thor Love and Thunder. And that's shoot, I lost my notes here. But basically he said that that won't be his last MCU movie. It's in addition to, so we're also going to get obviously Natalie Portman coming back. After many delays, Thor Love and Thunder is reportedly ready to start shooting with Portman. Portman arrived in Australia to begin filming once her mandated quarantine ends. The film's using virtual sets, which were pioneered on The Mandalorian, using those virtual background sets. So they're going to be using that. Christian Bale is in it. Go ahead. It looks like you want to say something.
I'm just thinking of the Thunder Down Under.
Thor and the Thunder Down Under. Yes.
Oh, you're talking about the ultimate thunder, and they're down in Australia. I'm like, yes, the Thunder Down Under. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I keep googling that AT&T chick. Sorry about it.
So basically, Thor says, Chris Hemsworth says, you know, he's not done with Thor just yet, and that that Thor 4 isn't his last MCU movie. So we will see him further down the line. And last but not least, something that hold
on. I'm going to stop you on this. I think I need to expound on this. I have questions.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Is he going to be Thor anymore? Or is it going to be like some bullshit where he just comes in for like 20 minutes as like a fucking phantom or fucking premonition or some shit? I'm Thor, but you're really Thor. Natalie Portman, Thor. And how do you think it's going to play out?
Oh, that's a great, man. That's a deep question. So we already know, it's already been confirmed that the kind of crux of Thor Love and Thunder is that Natalie Portman picks up the hammer and becomes Thor. She becomes Thor. And so obviously he's going to be dealing with the fallout of not being Thor anymore. But how that's going to play out as far as like, does he get it back? Do they share the role? I don't know. He definitely said Thor is coming back.
Trains her or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, there's got to be some of that. I mean, maybe this is a throw off. Maybe he's doing this because they're gonna kill him off, and he just wants to throw people off the scent by being like, "Oh no, I'm gonna do another one after this." And so that, because if you go, yes, this is my last movie as Thor, the thought crosses your mind like, well, shit, are they gonna kill him off? So what better way to throw people off the scent of being like, oh no, yeah, he'll be back. He's fine. Yeah, he's got another movie. And then they kill him in the movie. You're like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. I mean, that's one possibility. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why I don't know. Like, because when we say this, do we know this? Like, it's just because people push it on their fucking Instagram or some shit. Like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But because there's also other ways for them to come back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course. There's always ways.
Be like
a comic book.
Yeah, right. Well, it's not really a movie, but that's where content v canon. Content v canon.
I agree. You know what I mean? I agree. No, I would love to see Natalie Portman be Thor. Like, give it to her. Let her really come into her own. I don't foresee her staying like to do more movies. I think she's coming back for this one, and that's it. So I don't think she'll stay Thor.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think this is a one. She honestly like went on record, and this is why she never came back for like the Avengers and stuff like that. Like, she was on record as being like, man, this isn't what I wanted to do. Like, I did it. I thought I would enjoy it more, and like that's why her coming back for the fourth one was such a shock, because she had publicly said like, I'm not interested in doing this anymore.
Right.
And so, you know, they must have really roped her in and be like, look, you're going to be Thor. You're going to be the main character. You're going to be woman-powered, personified. And maybe that appealed to her, I guess. Or maybe they said, we're going to pay you a shit ton of money. And she was like, okay, I'm back on board. I don't know. Right. I don't know what got her to sign on. But, I mean, dude, the third Thor was phenomenal. Ragnarok was a phenomenal movie and by far and away better than the first two Thors. So I'm imagining if I'm her and I'm sitting on the sidelines going like, well, shit, why couldn't I be in the good Thor movie? You know, like why did it be? So they're like, look, we're gonna do another one, same team that did Ragnarok, and we can push you and promote you. And I'm sure I would be like, yeah, okay, sign me up. So yeah, I think, but I really think this will be a one and done. I think if you really want to know what I think, piecing all the pieces together of what the MCU, what Marvel's doing with their Disney Plus shows, with their movies. They're laying these little breadcrumbs that you can't really put together yet, but down the line is going to make so much sense. And you're going to go, holy shit, they've been planning this for years. And what they're leading to now is part of it is Secret Wars with the Skrull invasion, but part of it is also Young Avengers, because we already have Scott Lang's kid, Ant-Man's kid, is now an adult. Right. She in the comics, she becomes a superhero. We have Monica Rambeau, who was friends with the little girl that was friends with Captain Marvel, who now we see as an adult in WandaVision. There was a scene in the first trailer for WandaVision where she materializes two kids. She creates two kids because that's what she wants in her head. And those two kids in the comic book become part of the Young Avengers as well. So there you have those two kids. We already announced that there's going to be a Hawkeye Disney series where he brings on Kate Bishop to replace him as Hawkeye. There's another Young Avenger. I know for a fact, they haven't talked about it, but in Black Widow, she's going to hand off the torch to somebody. We don't know who yet. I have an idea, but she's going to hand off the torch. That person will come in as the new Black Widow. That's another member. So like you start laying all that out and you go, holy shit, they have a team of Avengers. Like they have their shrinky person. They have their tech person. You know, if you have the little kid that Iron Man gave all his shit to, that he showed up at the funeral, or you have his daughter, Morgan Stark, and she could become the next Iron Man. Like there's a couple of different avenues that can go with Iron Man, but you could have your tech person. You could have your if Thor hands off the hammer for real to somebody, there's your new Thor. You have, Wanda's kids. You have Stature, who is Ant-Man's kid. Like, you have all the members for an Avengers team already laid out.
Bebe's kids.
Yeah, all the Bebe's kids. So yeah. So anyway, so if you're asking me what I think where it's going, I think they're leaning towards Young Avengers and Secret Wars as part of the storylines that they want to follow into the future. That's just my take on it.
But what I'm saying is, okay, so that's a good outline for the big picture things.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hemsworth, where does he fall in this to do?
Yeah. Well, he's going to do this Thor movie. He says he's doing another one. I would imagine if that's the case, if let's take his word as true, he does Thor, and that's going to be some type of redemption arc where he's no longer worthy and maybe he has to figure out how to live like that, or maybe he has to figure out, like he did in the first Thor movie, how do I become worthy once again? Either way, he says he's going to do another movie. I think that's your next team up. I think that's your next Avengers movie, the next kind of group movie. Because we even have Tom Holland who said like he's going to do another Spider-Man, but he's also going to do another Avengers. So we know that's coming down the line at some point. So that'll be the big team up movie, and maybe that's when Thor dies or rides off into the sunset or whatever. But yeah, if we take him for his word, he's got this Thor 4 and then another movie as yet to be determined to be to see more Thor. So we'll see. I mean, I'd milk that. I'd milk the tea to that for as till that thing runs dry. If I were him, like.
Well, that's what I was.
You're not gonna be young, hunky, and
not to be a
stacked,
dick, but they fucking do all kinds of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it could be fun, dude. They could really fuck. And this is where content be canon. Because you're like, well, according to canon, according to you got Iron Man's kids and Baby's kids and fucking all these kids, right?
I'm just saying, based on what I've seen, based on what I know, based on the little crumbs that's been laid out, I'm painting with broad strokes here. I'm looking at what I see.
But what I'm saying is, like, look how much fun they could have with it.
They could,
right?
Absolutely.
That's where I'm going with it. Like you can do all this, and I'm not even against that shit. I'm not even saying that's a bad idea. What I'm saying is look at the fun they could have with it.
Yeah.
What if Thor and fucking Natalie Portman have a baby?
That could very well happen.
You know what I mean? And then like that's baby Thor. And then like Chris Hemsworth has to come back and like raise baby Thor to be big Thor. I don't know. Yeah. But see, that's supposed to like this is where I'm like, you could really you've got stories that are like outlined from the comic books, right?
Absolutely.
You've got so kind of fucking Walking Dead-esque, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're getting into Walking Dead territory where what happens is there's a small branch, but the further down the line it goes, that branch starts getting further and further and further apart to the point where you're in a completely new universe almost.
But they said all the universes are parallel and exist in the same fucking multiverse and all this other fucking bullshit, right? So you can still go back and do like whatever the fuck you want to do and still keep the super nerds happy, right?
Dude, I am really rubbing off on you. I really think I'm rubbing off on you. The fact that you're just pulling this shit out of your head is incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it.
We could totally, I'm telling you, they should hire us to write fucking casting. And we could write some fucking cool ass story. Man, that's what we should do in our off time, dude.
Yeah, definitely. All right, one last one, and we'll end it on this. Because I just I got one thing. But the last thing for the movie headlines. This is so cool. It's a super rumor. I'm putting it out there. This is a rumor. But if it's true, it's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be so awesome. So we know in Doctor Strange 2, they're gonna fuck around with multiverses and alternate realities and alternate timelines and all these different things, right? They're going to be messing with reality itself. One of the rumors suggests that they will go to an alternate reality, alternate timeline, alternate universe, whatever, and they're going to come across Iron Man. And when he takes off the helmet, it's going to be Tom Cruise. That Tom Cruise will be playing Tony Stark in an alternate version. And it might be a glorified cameo. It might be literally a one-off shot, with the idea that the biggest wink is that people don't remember. Before Robert Downey Jr. got the part as Iron Man, their number one go-to guy was Tom Cruise.
He turned that shit down.
And he turned it down, and Robert Downey Jr. got the part. So it would be a very wink to the audience, like, look, in an alternate universe, Tom Cruise really did become Iron Man. You know, like, he didn't turn it down, and he did become Iron Man. So I think that would be hilarious. And I think if they played it straight, like, I am Tony Stark, I am Iron Man, that's cool. I also think it could be really fun for laughs, like if they go into a universe where the Avengers are movie, they are entertainment, they're not real people, and it's Tom Cruise playing the character Iron Man for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like they go into a universe where superheroes don't exist, reality, and it's Tom Cruise playing the character, the comic book character in life, Tony Stark / Iron Man. I think that would, to me, that would be funnier. But, you know, if they don't want to break that fourth wall of like superheroes don't exist, like